Once ridiculed for daring to believe in the impossible, you now stand as living proof that resilience and vision can defy even the strongest doubts. They called you foolish for dreaming so boldly, cast you aside as insignificant, and turned your ambition into the butt of their jokes. But where they saw limits, you saw horizons. Where they saw obstacles, you saw opportunities. Now, the very same voices that once drowned you in disbelief are left speechless, their eyes wide with envy and awe as your light blinds the shadows of their doubt. You are no longer chasing greatness, you've become it, leaving those who underestimated you scrambling to rewrite the narrative they once controlled. At this very moment, there are those whose restless nights are consumed by the thought of your rise. Their minds race with confusion, replaying every moment they doubted you, every word they spoke against you, as if searching for a way to rewrite history. They scroll through your victories, unable to look away, each achievement of yours a sharp reminder of their own stagnation. These are the same people who once gathered in hushed circles, fueled by jealousy and insecurity, crafting narratives of your failure to soothe their fragile egos. Now, the story they tried to write for you has been flipped, and they're forced to watch you thrive in a reality they never wanted to believe possible. Here's the truth that will shake you to your core. Their anguish isn't just rooted in envy, it's the crushing weight of knowing they stood in defiance of something far greater than themselves. When they mocked your vision, it wasn't merely your hopes they ridiculed, it was the unmistakable hand of destiny guiding you. Their laughter wasn't harmless, it was rebellion against a purpose they were never meant to understand. Now, as they sit in the wreckage of their own doubt, they're forced to confront the reality that they didn't just bet against you, they bet against a force far beyond their comprehension. And they lost, spectacularly. And the universe, in its infinite wisdom, has been orchestrating every move with precision. The loneliness you endured wasn't a cruel twist of fate, it was a calculated act of grace. Every betrayal, every departure, every door that slammed shut in your face was part of a divine design to strip away what couldn't go with you to the next level. Those who vanished weren't meant to stand in the glow of what's now unfolding. The isolation you thought would break you was never meant to harm you. It was meant to refine you, to prepare you for the kind of greatness that requires solitude to fully take shape. It wasn't coincidence, it was alignment. The way they all seemed to vanish at once wasn't random, it was a divine strategy. Friends, family, lovers, and allies all fell away as if by some invisible command, not because you weren't worthy of their presence, but because they weren't worthy of witnessing your transformation. The process you were about to undergo was sacred, and not everyone could survive the intensity of the fire meant to forge you. Their absence wasn't rejection, it was protection, shielding you from distractions and doubts so that you could emerge like a diamond, refined and unbreakable, shining in a way they'll never forget. In those silent, lonely months when the world seemed to forget you, the universe was whispering secrets meant only for you. Each unanswered call, each empty inbox, each cold shoulder was making space for something far greater than human connection. It was making room for divine revelation. Your solitude wasn't a void, it was a portal. While they dismissed you as irrelevant, you were being tuned into a higher frequency, unlocking visions and ideas that defied logic and expectation. The plans you were crafting in the quiet will one day leave them speechless, because what they saw as your downfall was actually your ascension. The nights of suffocating silence, the relentless weight of doubt pressing against your chest, it all felt like too much to bear. You questioned your worth, your dreams, even your sanity, wondering if you had been chasing illusions all along. But what you didn't realize in those darkest moments was that the pain wasn't a sign of failure, it was a sign of transformation. Every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of despair was breaking apart the old version of you, making way for the unstoppable force you were becoming. You weren't falling apart, you were breaking free. The betrayal hit hardest where it hurt most, your stability, your foundation. It wasn't enough for them to turn their backs. They had to make sure you felt the sting of their absence in every possible way. They sabotaged opportunities, hoarded what was meant to be shared, and watched as you struggled, thinking your desperation would break you. Those stolen funds, those lies wrapped in feigned innocence, those lavish indulgences flaunted in your face while you scraped by, they weren't just acts of greed, they were tests. The universe was stripping away the illusion of security tied to others, forcing you to build your own foundation, one that no one could ever take from you again. They thought they were breaking you, but all they did was ignite your independence. What they didn't realize was that their schemes were playing into a far greater plan, one they could never comprehend. By trying to control your resources, they thought they were controlling your future, but they were merely fueling a divine redistribution. Every act of greed, every stolen dollar, every calculated betrayal was being tallied in a higher account, one that pays back in ways no human hand can touch. Their theft wasn't your loss, it was your leverage. The more they took, the more the universe multiplied your return, turning their cruelty into the very foundation of your unstoppable rise. While they reveled in fleeting indulgences funded by their deceit, the universe was quietly working behind the scenes, orchestrating a justice they could never escape. What they mistook for their triumph was merely the calm before the storm. Those unexpected bills piling up, the sudden breakdowns of once reliable cars, the opportunities slipping through their fingers, it's all part of a cosmic reckoning. The universe doesn't forget, and every shortcut they took at your expense is now becoming a roadblock in their own path. What they called luck has run dry, and what they called your misfortune is transforming into a tidal wave of blessings they'll never see coming. Their illusion of success was nothing more than a house of cards, built on lies and theft, destined to collapse under the weight of its own deceit. Every fraudulent loan, every forged signature, every stolen dollar was like a brick in the walls of their self-made prison. While they laughed at your struggles, oblivious to the seeds of resilience you were planting, they unknowingly sowed their own downfall. Now, the system they thought they had outsmarted is closing in, and the karma they dismissed as fantasy is cashing in with interest. Their stolen wealth was never theirs to keep. It was merely borrowed time, and the bill has finally come due. The depth of their opposition is staggering, woven into the very fabric of the connections you once trusted. These hidden adversaries operate in shadows, disguising their intentions with kind words and feigned support. They are not the loud detractors who openly oppose you, but the silent architects of delay and distraction, carefully orchestrating setbacks while pretending to cheer you on. Their smiles conceal envy, their offers of help mask ulterior motives, and their every move is calculated to keep you from realizing the full extent of your power. But what they fail to understand is that every obstacle they place only strengthens your resolve, sharpening your vision, and preparing you for a destiny they cannot stop. Some of them are the ones who smile in your face at family gatherings or professional events, offering hollow congratulations while quietly maneuvering to block your progress. They're the ones who speak softly but carry sharp intentions, slipping subtle criticisms into conversations that cast shadows on your accomplishments. Behind closed doors, they work to sow division, whispering doubts into the ears of those who might otherwise support you, crafting narratives that make others question your character or competence. Then there are those from your past, old friends or colleagues, who have built their identities on keeping you beneath them. They wield their influence as if it's a weapon, closing doors you were destined to walk through, all in an effort to control the narrative of your success. Yet, what they fail to realize is that no amount of manipulation can halt what has been divinely ordained for you. Their efforts only serve to highlight the unstoppable force of your rise. They are the ones who conveniently misplace your name when it's time to recommend someone for a promotion, who quietly reroute conversations to exclude you, and who subtly steer key opportunities into someone else's hands. Yet, with every deliberate slight, they unknowingly propelled you toward greater self-reliance and clarity of purpose. Each act of betrayal became a lesson in discernment, sharpening your instincts and teaching you to trust the whispers of your intuition over the noise of false allies. What they intended to diminish you has only expanded your resolve, and the very doors they tried to close have become gateways to something far greater than they could ever control. Every hidden betrayal was like a sharpening stone, honing your senses to unparalleled precision. What they believed was your defeat was, in truth, a divine recalibration, awakening abilities within you that even you had yet to fully comprehend. The isolation they orchestrated became your sanctuary, a sacred space where your spirit ascended beyond their reach. Your intuition, once a quiet nudge, now roars with clarity, piercing through lies and illusions with ease. What they saw as your breaking point was actually your breakthrough, transforming you into a force they can no longer deceive, no longer contain, and no longer underestimate. You became attuned to an unseen rhythm, a flow of knowledge and insight that transcended logic. People's intentions revealed themselves in their silence, their motives in the smallest of gestures. You no longer needed words to understand the truth. It was written in the energy they carried, in the vibrations of their presence. The universe seemed to conspire with you, aligning signs and synchronicities in a way that left no room for doubt. Visions came unbidden, offering glimpses of paths yet to unfold, while an inner voice, calm and unwavering, guided you with a wisdom that felt both ancient and infinite. What once felt like uncertainty was replaced by an unshakable knowing, a connection to something far greater than yourself. This was not merely growth, it was transformation on a sacred level. Every storm sent to shake you was, in reality, unlocking hidden reservoirs of strength and resilience within you. Each moment of pain became a divine lesson, sharpening your vision and aligning you with a purpose far greater than you imagined. What seemed like chaos was, in truth, a divine orchestration, stripping away illusions and revealing the unshakable foundation you were meant to stand on. The challenges didn't break you, they initiated you, awakening dormant power and preparing you to walk boldly in the destiny only you were chosen to fulfill. The very hands that tried to dismantle your dreams unknowingly helped mold you into a force they could never contain. While they were busy sowing seeds of doubt and ridicule, you were quietly building a foundation rooted in purpose and vision. They laughed at your ambitions, dismissing them as fantasies, but those same ambitions are now aligning with opportunities beyond their comprehension. What they saw as your weakness was actually your secret weapon, and the path they mocked is transforming into a bridge to heights they'll never reach. Their attempts to break you only ignited a fire within you, one that's now illuminating a destiny filled with abundance, impact, and unstoppable momentum. The very talents they dismissed as insignificant are now becoming the cornerstone of your success. What they once ridiculed as hobbies or pipe dreams is being elevated into thriving enterprises, drawing attention and admiration from places you never expected. Your creativity, your vision, your authenticity, everything they underestimated is now in high demand. Doors are opening that you didn't even knock on, and opportunities are flooding in that align perfectly with your purpose. This isn't luck, it's alignment. The abundance flowing toward you is proof that when you walk in your truth, the world has no choice but to make room for the brilliance you bring. These moments are the culmination of everything you've endured and overcome. The timing is divine, a testament to the preparation that shaped you into someone worthy of the abundance now unfolding. Every trial you faced, every moment of doubt, was a test of your resilience, faith, and moral compass. You've shown that success won't compromise your values, that your character remains unshaken even in the face of adversity. The opportunities before you aren't coincidences, they're rewards for the strength, discipline, and integrity you've refined through fire. The universe doesn't elevate the unprepared, it uplifts those who've proven they can carry the weight of greatness with grace. Your efforts are creating ripples far beyond what you ever imagined. People are not just noticing your work, they're being transformed by it. Strangers are reaching out to tell you how much your passion has inspired them. Your vision has become a movement, with supporters and admirers championing your cause, spreading your message, and amplifying your reach. You're no longer just pursuing success, you're leaving a legacy. Every late night, every hard choice, every sacrifice, it's all paying off in the form of lives touched, hearts changed, and a purpose fulfilled that's bigger than you ever dreamed. When someone under divine protection rises, the energy shifts in ways that are undeniable. While you flourish with strength, radiance, and an unshakable peace, those who once tried to tear you down are left grappling with the weight of their own actions. Their envy and bitterness are now taking a toll, manifesting as restlessness they can't escape and burdens they can't shed. Sleepless nights and unexplained exhaustion haunt them as they watch you thrive in ways they never thought possible. The very energy they used to harm you has ricocheted, unraveling their stability while yours only grows stronger. It's a reminder that what you sow into the world, whether light or darkness, always finds its way back. The weight of their own actions is becoming inescapable, taking a toll that no amount of money or influence can reverse. Those who once plotted against you now find themselves entangled in struggles they cannot outrun. The voices that once spewed doubt and negativity now falter, consumed by their own regrets. The hands that once sought to block your path tremble under the weight of consequences that no treatment can ease. It's not about vengeance. This is a lesson in the power of energy and intention. What they sent out into the world has returned to them, a reminder that the universe's balance is unwavering and that every action carries a price. The irony is almost poetic when the truth comes into focus. These are the same individuals who mocked your faith, dismissed your divine clarity, and tried to reduce your spiritual wisdom to mere imagination. They ridiculed your intuitive knowing, labeling it as irrational or unstable, all while masking their own fears of what they couldn't understand. They spoke down to you, using the language of logic and mental health as a weapon to undermine your gifts. Yet now, as they face the unraveling of their own lives, they find themselves grasping for the very guidance and clarity they once ridiculed. The connection they called delusional is now the very thing they wish they could access, but the door remains closed to those who mocked it. The power they tried to discredit has become the force that sets you apart. Now they find themselves facing battles that science cannot explain and medicine cannot heal. The very ones who dismissed your faith and ridiculed your spiritual path are coming to realize that their struggles run deeper than the physical. They are grappling with wounds of the soul. No earthly remedy can mend the damage caused by harboring bitterness, envy, and malice towards someone under divine protection. Their bodies bear the weight of spiritual consequences as divine justice makes itself known in ways they never anticipated. It's a sobering revelation. When you wage war against the spiritually anointed, the battlefield is not just external, it's within, where no earthly intervention can reach. Some of them are now trapped in a haze of confusion, their inner compass shattered by years of resisting divine order. Their spiritual blindness leaves them stumbling through life, incapable of recognizing truth even when it's right in front of them. Their choices grow more chaotic, leading them further into self-destruction, as if their very sense of direction has been stripped away. For others, the consequences are eerily physical, mirroring the harm they tried to inflict on you. Those who refuse to acknowledge your purpose now find their own vision clouded, unable to see a way forward. Those who ignored divine warnings now live in silence, deaf to wisdom that could save them. And those who stood in the way of your progress now feel the weight of immobility, unable to move forward in their own lives. It's a stark reminder that the spiritual and physical are deeply intertwined, and no act against divine will goes unanswered. The irony is undeniable as they scramble to keep up with the mounting costs of their mysterious afflictions, watching helplessly as their once stolen wealth slips through their fingers like sand. These are the same individuals who believed that sabotaging your stability would leave you powerless, Yet now they find themselves trapped in a cycle of loss they cannot escape. Every dollar they scheme to claim is now funneled into treatments that yield no relief, as if the very universe is reclaiming what was never truly theirs. But this is not about rejoicing in their pain, chosen one. It's a reminder of the unshakable truth. What is built on deceit will always crumble, and divine justice will always ensure that what was taken unfairly is restored in ways far beyond human comprehension. This is about realizing that the universe is a mirror, reflecting back every intention and action with unerring accuracy. The seeds of negativity they sowed in their attempts to undermine you have grown into thorns that now pierce their own lives. Energy, like a boomerang, always returns to its source, amplified by the force with which it was cast. And as your light shines brighter, illuminating the path of your purpose, the shadows they tried to hide in can no longer conceal their schemes. The truth unravels like a tapestry, revealing the intricate web of deceit they wove against you, only to find themselves ensnared by their own design. This isn't just justice, it's the undeniable power of divine order restoring balance.